Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Global Fusion Music and Arts evening of poetry, music and spoken word. As usual, we've got some wonderful performers this evening. And our guest is Andrew Ogleby, aka Doug Berry. Andrew is well known to GFMA. I'm looking forward to listening to his work and speaking with him later. Can I remind everyone before we begin to stay muted unless you're performing? And if you can find the chat button, you can share your comments in the chat. I won't be able to pick them up as usual because I can't see it from here, but we will be able to read them, and it is a really lovely way of connecting with each other even though we're so far away and all on the internet. So do use that function, and it brings us all together in some way. So let's begin the evening. So I'm going to start the evening with a song. This is one of my songs. It's called Little One, and it's a lullaby. Let me sing a lullaby, hold you as you close your eyes. Let me stay here by your side, softly, little one. Lift your gaze above the stars. No journey's quest a step too far. Rest your tiny hand in mine, safe till morning light. When the way seems cold and dark, may you always find the path, and may you hold your hand in mine safely, little one. Lift your gaze above the stars. No journey's quest a step too far. Rest your tiny hand in mine, safe till morning light. Let me sing a lullaby and hold you as you close your eyes. Let me stay here by your side, softly, little one. Softly, little one. Thank you very much. It's not really time for a lullaby, but anyway, because we're not going off to sleep, but we're going now over to France, actually, and we're going to listen to Mary Cagnard. And Mary is part of the GFMA Writers Group and has performed for us before. Actually, it was last time, and it was absolutely lovely, so I'm really looking forward to hearing you again. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you so much for having me, and lovely to hear you, Roz. So I'm reading a poem called Out the Window. That night you were angry on the phone. You told me I was selfish. My love was guillotined, beheaded, of course, I'm in France, and replaced with fear, submission, obligation, repugnance. I loved you like a lover loves her beloved, like a friend loves her best friend, like a young mother loves her baby child. But no, never as God loves its indwelling soul. Your presence explodes the ether of my soul. Tornadoes swirl. Of course, I am from Oklahoma. Waves ceaselessly expand, full force, then diminished, then tsunamic. Steal across timeless space and back again, haunting, intrusive, I pray for freedom. Please leave me alone. At the same time, I crave you. I don't know what I want. I want it. Wiped out but whole, I said no. Glimpses of light, dignity, hope for hope's sake. This battle won, walking wounded, hanging on for God. Kurukshetra's war rages on. Imaginary halos of non-imaginary events. Not really, they were all imaginary. My heart is like an overripe tomato, yuck, squishy, putrid. An effort just to stay present. Salvation seeds, ample self-care for the soil of my soul. No, not selfish. Patience, my dear self, all things in divine order. Waiting, wasting, wanting, time will do its magic. What? No, now I. Angry, unbridled expressions, my love flies out the window. But me, neither did I love you as it would love. I did not, could not, transmute tainted human love into it. The it in all lifts up, purifies, transforms unsatisfied longing into divine joy. But no, unhappy love degrades it. My problems? Emotionally dependent, obsessed. God save me from myself. I do not want to go to the grave with these errors. Please replace these meannesses in me. Infuse me with it. Loves of my soul, spiritually connected, humans, creation, have not been, are not, do not make it. You, my love, are not it. We were not it. Life is not it. Please forgive me. God, teach me to love. What is it? Sacred perennial joy. That's it.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was so beautiful and so beautifully read and deeply reflective. Really, all the kind of delving down into what love is and what love isn't. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. I think we're rather excitingly going over to somebody in the street at the moment, but we don't know whether he's with us. Is Chris Shanley there? He's joining us from somewhere in the street. No. So if he does at any point, we will we'll be flexible. So we'll go moving on at the moment. So our next person is called Frantic Free Versa, and is a friend of Chris Shanley. So it's a shame actually that he's going to miss it. So we haven't had the pleasure of having you with us before. It's lovely to see you there, and we were having problems with the internet a little bit earlier, and we're really fingers crossed, everybody, that we're going to be okay with this one. So welcome for your first poetry with us.
Yeah, this is called Neglect. You're an innocent infant not born out of wedlock as lust masqueraded as love. You can't begin to comprehend why you're in the centre of the constant screaming, why so-called grown-ups behave as they do. You're an accidental birth who's taking the strain in a vicious fight and taking the strain in a push me, pull you. They claim to kill and die for you. They claim to always be there as they drag you through the courts to gain custody and buy you off with expensive gifts you don't want. Then they trick you into taking sides while they hand you down their defects and see you as their property to do with you as and when they like. You're used to bargain with, you're made to feel it's your fault, you've been given the worst of starts. You're emotionally disadvantaged, you're not being taken care of because no one is noticing or listening, so your cries go unheard. And neglected parental guidance is stretching you to the limits, and they won't realise that until they've ruined you internally. You are the trophy child held aloft that was spoilt by immature adults who continue to hurt you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. You've brought us some really complex issues there and things to think about. Thank you very much for joining us. Oh, I think we're round to me again. So let's come quickly because we're expecting someone else. So this is a song really about those moments in life when we, I don't know, are fully present in the moment and we kind of realise what's going on. You know, we all have them at different things, and this one was about my daughter and I going over to meet my son and her brother over in Spain when he landed from a cruise. We hadn't seen him for months, and we were so excited to go, and there was just this moment, I think, where all of us realised that life was changing all in that moment, and wanted to hold on to it and at that moment I realised that, you know, she too would go cruises as well, so we didn't know that then, but that's about those moments in life where I guess we know things. Sail Away it's called. I was glad you were there as we made for the quay. We were sent the wrong way and you guided me. We stood and we waited, our hearts beating fast. Then we held him so tight, knowing time couldn't last. We shared laughter and smiles, we were talking just like any other day. Our voices seemed glad, but our hearts felt so sad as he sailed away. A day in slow motion, in warm summer sun, a moving reminder of times that have gone. These moments of laughter and love from today are captured forever and with us always. We shared laughter and smiles, we were talking just like any other day. Our voices seemed glad, but our hearts felt so sad as he sailed away. Two of us spending the days on our own, oh, two of us sharing the years that have flown. Both of us knowing that time goes so fast, holding on tight, knowing time doesn't last. We shared laughter and smiles, we were talking just like any other day. Our voices seemed glad, but our hearts felt so sad as he sailed away. Two of us waving the ship on its way and silently wishing all days were today. Thank you very much. So we're now going, Chris isn't there, no? We're moving, keep moving on. That is sad, yeah. Let me know if he arrives. So we're now moving on to Yema. Yema Sekmet Mart. Yema, it's so lovely to see you. Welcome back. Yema, who is a member of the GFMA Writers Group. Yema's an actress, writer, poet. Writes the most beautiful poetry, actually. Using words that just capture experience is what I think when I hear them. A great supporter of all GFMA events, particularly these evenings, where, Gemma, you're always so supportive of other people's work. And that's absolutely fabulous, actually. Not only do you write beautiful stuff yourself that you share with us, but you share your wonderful, valuable comments that help others, because these evenings really are about sharing. And for me, you're one of the people that really, knows how to share.
I try. Thank you, Roz.
So welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I've got some, I'll just read. The first one's called Patience is Key. In this world of mystery, beauty under ancient wisdom is afraid of the shadow inside forbidden wars, making her blind to a certain fall. Patience is key, just like sugar candy. That sweet black cat sang little songs while the devil played her heart like a harpsichord, as the moonlight shone truth all over her soul. That's one. The second one is Beyond the Surface. Do you see me when you look at me? Am I easy on the eye? Do I hypnotize you when I sashay by? You may be surprised that it is more than physical beauty. It is called sex appeal and duty. Watch my lips as I speak. If it is superficial, you will make me weak. I need something soulful, a bond to stand the test of time. If I were your girl, would you be mine? Hold me when times are rough. I am infused with longing. This is not enough. There is much more to life than meets the naked eye in the wilderness of I. Are you the lover of my dreams? Clandestine escapades no longer satisfy my needs. My soul seeks an angel to ground and balance me, to cease the onset of lunacy. Look into the window of souls. I need you to accept me as a whole. I cannot separate creativity from me. Married together for gratification, it is a part of me, whispering through the wisdom of suffering. I yearn to feel you next to me. Smell your skin next to mine. Why don't we get down and dirty to appease this growing appetite locked up tight for this marvelous time? And the third and final one is She Don't Give a Fuck. Shadows beckoned the little church girl away from nature's bliss. She felt unsafe and in need of love, but her love was never courted. She prayed for her life to be more fulfilled. She longed for true friendship. Another day for each kiss, wanting for nothing while people talked about the red blood that spurted, slowly beating. But she doesn't give a fuck. Something powerful has been aroused. He loved her, and she became his soul. All the trees were alive and full of promises of Sophia observing, demons smiling like angels, machine guns obsessed with money, drugs, sex, and lonely souls. Murder, rock, and roll, right on the corner. Changed her course. Now she is, no matter what, against all odds, limitless. Her face held high, up to the sky, with an expression that quietly declares that she don't give a fuck. I think sometimes we have to embrace our shadows and be a little bit rebellious sometimes, because you can't be good all the time.
That's fantastic, Yema. It's such a contrast across those poems, actually. I mean, such a range of stuff, but all of them so beautifully expressed and food for thought. And I like to sort of read them again. I'd like to, I'd like to hear them again, because there's so much in them. They're kind of short, and you say it really succinctly, but what you're saying is really kind of feels like deep and underneath some of that.
Thank you, Rose.
Yeah, it needs a second listen. I mean, that's so beautiful, and it's so beautifully read. Thank you so much. You really enhanced our evening. Thank you. I think we're in the street, aren't we? Oh, it's always exciting, I tell you. These evenings we push the boat out here. Good evening, Chris Shanley. Where are you? You're muted, right? Unmute yourself. Where are you? Outside the pub. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Chris?
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, it's Chris here, Chris Shanley.
Yes.
I hope I'm not butting in when I shouldn't be.
No,
right.
absolutely right. You're spot on time, Chris.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Now, I'll try and hold my face back for. Right, I can do a couple of pieces. I've just come out of a meeting at West Greenwich Library, and I'm very happy to perform. So I'm actually standing just outside the pub at the moment.
I think that's what I thought it could be. Yeah.
I'm going to do two pieces for you, and unfortunately, I'll have to say goodbye after that because there's a few of my friends in the pub, and there'll be some live music starting fairly soon. And no, not live music. There'll be an open mic, and I'm hoping to do a couple of songs on the open mic, so that should be fun.
Right. So
here
you're
we go.
leaving us to exit to the pub.
Oh, I know.
You don't need to give an excuse to us. It's fine, Chris.
Oh, right, okay. Well, thanks, Boz. Right, okay, I'll make a start. I've just got a couple of pieces.
Start. Lovely, thank you.
Definitely. First one is it combines World Book Day with International Women's Day, and that about four or 5 years ago. Slightly unusually, the World Book Day, International Book Day, fell only a day apart. So I've done this piece to combine the two. So we all have a favourite book, something to peruse or study or look. Many women around the globe have a worthy story to be told. It may be poignant, funny, sad, or bold. Thinking about a favourite book, I became aware my readership hasn't been as extensive as many learned people. But I am willing to climb the steeple to the top of the reading tree. Please be patient and abide with me. I believe that to be a song. A good book for some brings joy to the heart, the way a song brings pleasure and enjoyment. So to the unfathomable volume of words written across time, the story telling line by line. To all writers, poets and readers, a huge thank you for all effort undertaken. No praise excluded or mistaken. To all here, keep writing. Thank you at this time for all women who have enlightened us with their writing. As a suffragette may have said, don't give up, keep fighting. That's the first one. Okay, and the second one is a little bit shorter. It's just called A Friendly Place. Elsie dusts herself down, off she trots, still quite mobile. Pleasant day. The venue is reached in 10 minutes. Hi, Elsie, a friendly shout. Familiar retort, plenty of clout. Chatter, chatter, good-natured banter. Elsie's smile lights up the room, lifts the mood, vanquishes the gloom. Tea, Elsie? Yes, please, 2 sugars. Thought you were sweet enough, says amorous Bob. Flattery will get you nowhere. Shut your gob. Charming, comes the reply. Feisty Elsie has a glint in her eye. A couple of hours spent in good company on a Tuesday lunchtime at the friendly local cafe. A place to meet, greet and enjoy good company. So, see you next week, Elsie. Might do is the reply. A warm feeling, churlish to deny. Well, thank you. That's me done. I hope you heard them both okay, did you? It was okay,
It
was
was
it?
lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much for joining us, Chris. I loved it.
Thank you,
Nice
Woz.
Chelsea.
Well, thank you for having me, and I'll have to try and catch up on the recording of the rest of some of the rest of the night. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest, all you lovely poets and everyone and musicians, and I will see you soon.
Take care, Chris. Bye. Always exciting early transactions, isn't it? We never know what's arriving, but we do know what's arriving next, actually, and something wonderful is arriving next. Someone wonderful is arriving next. It's Suzanne West. One of the exciting things about having stayed on Zoom is that we can actually go all over the world, and we've been with Suzanne West before. She lives in California. She's coming on live from California. Welcome back, Suzanne. Well, once our guest on one of these evenings, and you've been running workshops for us, which has been absolutely wonderful. Beautiful poetry, which captures the very essence of experience.
Thank you, Roz. This has been a wonderful evening. I love that you go out on the street. Oh my God, that was great. All right. So this is called Please Teach Me. Dear Silence, please show me your ways again. I'm beginning again. Please take my knowing. Teach me to cherish not knowing, to see, hear, feel, taste, touch the gifts. Please teach me to see through the small self's performances, to know the I as just another thought. Teach me to hear you inside this noisy, agitated world. Please teach me to listen as I speak, as I write, as I venture into the imaginal realms, the wisdom realms. Listen as I enter the caves of the sacred dark haunts of the wild. Let me see you everywhere, because you are. Please help me remember that silence includes and widens everything, rounds the edges of everything. Please give me words that won't create ache, that will be helpful when help is needed, that will speak love to the world's tears and screams. Teach me to speak like the mountain, the lizard, the lion, the dying forests. Deep bow. Thank you. And this is a shorter one. Just wrote a couple days ago. Masks are falling away, some ripped off. Lies, secrets, flaming, flying, slithering, crawling out from caves, graves, closets, crypts, cellars, attics, vaults. We are being made true. And shall I read one more or just
Please,
stop
no, yes,
there?
please, that would be lovely.
Okay. This is called my other glasses. Hot coals. Every time I open her front door, I listen towards her room with hope and fear. Moans, groans, whimpers, silence. I so want to trust the divine. I take a step. Is a nest of death being prepared? Is this form of the great mother, my mother, leaving? Hot coals, no choice but to walk them. I'm sure I can't. Wisdom whispers, you are being held. Trust slips in. Blessings arrive just when it seems impossible. There's only now, and it is okay. I move forward. We are both in not knowing. We are both walking hot holes. It is okay. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely wonderful, Suzanne. Beautifully constructed poetry. Absolutely beautiful. I love reading them. On the internet. You have a lovely page on Facebook, and poems. They're just so beautiful, and loads of people comment all the time because you just want to. I want to comment all the time. You know, you deal with complex issues, stuff that touches the heart. I love I love the not knowing stuff, because, you know, we discovered that, you know, we have a common sort of interest, that we're both psychotherapists, and living in the place of the not knowing is essential, actually, to do that work. And it takes me somewhere else when I read it. I'm sure others. There's some lovely comments. I can't read them because my eyes aren't great and it's a distance, but do read them. So lovely to have you with us. Well, what a wonderful evening, everybody, so far. And now it's going to carry on and get better. So Andrew and I are, we have prepared some bits and some other bits we haven't really, but we're going to, I know Andrew very well because we've worked together in plays and poetry evenings, so that should be good anyway. We should know each other. So first of all, I want to say thank you.
Coordinated.
We are.
Without even trying.
Without even trying. I mean, what more can you say, really?
I know what she's going to say next.
I'm going to say thank you to everybody for speaking so far. Do you want to read it? So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has performed so far, actually, because it's really been a terrific evening, and if not unknown, really, in the street as well. nearly in the pub. We could hear it at least. So we're moving now to our guest, who is live with me in the studio. Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Andrew Ogilvie, aka Doug Berry, a performer, writer of plays, poetry, song and screen. Now, should I say Andrew or Doug? Do you want to explain that to us?
Yeah, get that one out of the way.
Yes.
It's a bit pretentious, but Andrew is my Christian name, and I use that as a writer, but it's a bit more serious. But I then use the name Doug as more of a social, or when I'm performing. It's an abbreviation or derivation of Dogberry, when I play Dogberry in Much Ado About Nothing.
Oh, right, yes.
And I wanted to go underground with it, because I had to, they had a Facebook page, and I just wanted to go underground. So I used Dogberry, or Dougberry, because it wasn't a dog. And then my niece found it, and then everyone just sort of naturally started calling me Doug. And I liked it. I thought it was just a bit easier, and I stuck with it, and people still do. So I answer to both, Ross.
Answer to both.
Answer
That's
to
lovely.
both. But the Doug and the berry, the performing is the berry,
Oh yes, yeah.
or the beret. So
Oh yeah, let's have that on now.
let's
as
have
we
the
are in
let's have one.
performance mode.
There we go. Yeah, so that's the full Doug berry.
Full Doug
Doug
Berry.
berry.
It's just
Berry in his beret. There we go.
How do you expect me to have keep a straight face and talk to you?
Let's give it a go.
So, do you want to tell us first of all a bit about what we're going to be hearing tonight
Oh, right,
and what
yeah.
we're going to be doing, because it's quite interesting.
Yeah, well, there's quite a bit. So we've got a bit of video footage showing stuff I've written and performed in,
Yes.
and I'll do some live readings as well, and answer any questions that you may have.
Great.
And yeah, see
Yeah, that's
how it
lovely.
goes. Yeah.
Because later on, if you're agreeable to it, we'd like to open up questions
Yeah,
to all
yeah.
people who've been watching when we
Sure,
get to that bit.
sure.
So think up anything that you would like to ask Andrew or Doug or his Berry or anything really.
Yeah.
And we'll come to that bit later. So I think we're going to go to a video first. This is a compilation, is it?
This is a compilation of a lot of stuff I've done with GFMA and a couple of other bits as well. A trailer for a film, a short film I've written as well.
Look at that.
No. No, it's gone. Sorry, there's a technical problem.
It's gone. It's very fast, isn't it?
Yeah, it was very good, wasn't it? It was just, yeah, hang on, I have to
Get it back.
get it back because it's
So
still.
this is, I think Louisa put this together.
She did, yeah.
And it's, tell us what's in it. So
Well, I've seen it once, so it's a bit like, Generation Game. I thought it was a bit cool. There was,
Bracken Jackson, you have heard Sergeant Orlock's evidence. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, sir, it's just a song, sir, about an officer, and it goes like this.
Please, spare me the song. But you were talking about Lieutenant Owen, and you did use his name, Wilfred.
Well, sir, I think I did, sir. It's the song, sir. It wasn't about Miss Stroke, about any officer. You just put the name in it. It wasn't insubordinate, sir.
Using the officer's name without addressing it with him by his proper rank was insubordinate. And apparently, you laughed as well, in an insubordinate way.
No, sir, I promise, sir. It wasn't in an insubordinate manner, sir. I was laughing at the song, sir. You know, it was a bit funny.
Yeah.
Let's film my off then, you greedy bastards. Right then. Weird, you never got for charge before.
Yeah, you've been on enough. I've tried you loads of times.
Yeah, remember that time I was shouting the mess tins? You gave me back the cue, saying anything like I looked at the food. Yeah.
So how many times have you gone for accident discharging your weapon?
I've never had one of them. What? You think I'm a rubbish packing soldier? I've never fired my weapon accidentally.
I got done for accident discharging your rifle into the back of an officer's head.
That was no fucking accident. Boogle was a danger to himself and to his men. To my friends, Boogle had never been a danger to the enemy. And I didn't shoot through the back of the head. Too bleeding obvious. I got him through his equipment, saw an hanging shot, so it looked like an accident. Didn't kill the bastard, though, should have done. And then he would have wasted all the medic's time. Still, he has a nice permanent injury to remind himself of his war effort. Ah, proud working women of Woolwich. What a be tonight, ladies?
Oh, ladies, what are you drinking, Mary? I'll have half a... Ooh, just a sherry, I think. Don't be silly, have half a bit of I am.
Well, I'm going to have a port and lemon. No, I'll have half a stout.
Is she always this indecisive?
Not when it comes to some things.
You all better make it light on yourselves now and let me have those seats. We need to get this bus moving. You too as well, lady.
And why should I move? I'm not that well. Most folks in this bus are probably in better health than me. I'm entitled to this seat just as much as anybody else.
Don't you know you're now sitting in the seat that rightfully belongs to a white person? And we've got white people coming on wanting to take this. I just want to go home.
Rightfully belong? Who in the name of the good Lord even says that?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Global Fusion Music and Arts and the Lady World Society's World Folk Music Festival, funded by the Lewisham Borough of Culture.
To the International Social Interconnecting Hub, connecting you with the rest of the world. Chuck, are you prepared?
Chuck, mate, are you all right?
Chuck?
It's looking like another fine day here in the good old US of A. Got yourself enough paper.
This has been a very traumatic experience for me.
Listen up, recruits! Drop and give me 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
What have we just been watching then?
Well, some plays. All About Boys, written by Bob, and produced by Global Fusion. What else was there? That was the last second from Jimmy Carr's quiz show. Trailer from a short film I've written. Hunter wrote. What else?
Midsummer
Canaries, Louisa's Canaries, Midsummer Night's Dream, Pantomime. I think that was it. Yeah, so it's quite a bit. Yeah.
When did you start writing?
Yeah, I probably didn't start really writing until I left school. I didn't have a very good time in secondary school, really. I think it's quite well, not very inspirational, you could say. And it wasn't until afterwards I started maybe putting experiences into words. But I did write something about that time when I was at school, and I've written it in sort of retrospective as a reimagined version of when I went to see the careers officer. And I thought, all right, he's going to tell me exactly what I can do with my life from now on. And it, you know, I get out of school and, you know, get on with my life. 5 minutes later, I was shown the door. So that was about the extent of it. And I'll read this now, which sort of maybe puts into words what happened. So it's called. I'm from Coventry, by the way. So this was I left school in the early '80s, and it wasn't a very nice time. You either joined a YTS or you joined Maggie's Millions, and social upheaval, and it wasn't a pleasant time. It was an interesting time, it was exciting times, a lot of interesting stuff going on, but in terms of work. Anyway, this was called, or is called, Fit for the Factory Floor, a 1983 visit to the career advisor. So what can I be? A famous footballer, singer in a band, or appear in film or on TV? Come in, Sonny, we won't waste your time. I can clearly see there's only one place for someone like you to be. Oh yes, my thoughts exactly. Yes, the factory floor, that's where. Operating industrial machinery. The factory floor? Yes, fit for the factory floor you are. Fit for the factory floor, you'll see. Fit for the factory floor, that's all you'll ever be. Oh, but I'm not sure that's what I want to do. And would like to hear other suggested ideas with avenues to explore. Well, that's not my job. I just say what I see. And all I can say is, this is now the path for you, Sonny. As fit for the factory floor you are, fit for the factory floor. You'll see, fit for the factory floor. That's all you'll ever be. But I want to do more with my life than that. I don't know what exactly. I thought that's what I'm here today for. Well, you see, this here place, Coventry, is an engineering city. And Swetford and swore for what keep in motion its industry. So just be grateful, shape up and grab any opportunity. With 3 million unemployed, there are not many jobs around, you see. Oh, but now, there's the door. If you would so kindly please leave. I wish you all the very best, but sorry, can't chat any longer, as I've still got many more others like you to see. So I'm to be scrapped here at 16 with my whole life in front of me. I haven't even started, and you haven't yet looked at my CV. I don't need to, I've seen it all before. Now come on, Sonny, and I promise in time, you'll actually laugh aloud and be thanking me. As fit for the factory floor you are, fit for the factory floor, you'll see, fit for the factory floor, that's all you'll ever be. Fit for the factory floor you are, fit for the factory floor, you'll see, fit for the factory floor, that's all you'll ever be. So that was my life mapped out in front of me.
No, it just captures it, doesn't it? What you've said there, you don't get a chance to speak, and it's just told to you like that.
Yeah, I think they wanted to produce robots. That's really what it was.
Yes.
So yeah, that was my reflection of that. Anyway, eventually I went on to get re-educated after moving down to London.
Yes.
And then I went on to study Chinese medicine following that. And one assignment we had to describe or create figuratively describe or illustrate the work of yin and yang, the philosophy of opposites.
Yes.
And I ended up writing a series of poems about it, which was I found quite liberating, and I really got into it.
Yeah.
A slight inspiration was Spike Milligan, the Hey Nanny Nong. I can't remember the
Ning Nang Nong.
The Ning Nang Nong. That's the one. Yeah. So this is about yin and yang. It's called Yin Yang, merrily on high and miserably on low. To describe the work of yin and yang, or yang and yin, well, where shall I begin? You could say that things that are bright and round are yang, and flat and dim are yin. Or a rush for the bush is yang, while to wait as three comes along's yin. And one follows the other, so neither can win. Or a cock-a-doodle-doo's yang and a twit-to-woo's yin. Okay, just one more. Ah, never again. Or a bang is yang, and those who keep it in yin. But all's relative. And when something is yin within yang, or yang within yin, well, that's when the real fun begins.
Fantastic. I mean, that's such a contrast, isn't it, from
Yes,
your early
yeah.
life and then moving
Yeah.
into this, and something about
Just-
you finding education
And
within there.
just the opportunity to be creative without being sort of institutionalised or being too academic.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's sort of liberating. You obviously, I think any creative people actually feel that.
But it's a wonderful thing to have moved yourself from that position of being told this is your
Yes,
lot,
yes.
actually, and you not
Yes.
holding to
No,
that, you found
no.
something else.
Well, I mean, all the industry's gone, so that
yes. Had you been
I jumped before being pushed, really, I suppose.
Yeah. Yes, that's fabulous. Do you want to tell us about your involvement with GFMA? Because it's a long while, isn't it? And you've done an awful lot.
Yeah, that's an interesting story.
Yes, that would be lovely.
Well, I was minding my own business one sunny Sunday afternoon, I think, at the Charlton House.
Oh, yeah.
With the fete going on at the back, and I was just walking up towards the band to get a better view, and then this crazy lady came rushing up to me and shoved a script or something in my hand and says, "Do you want to be in a play about the Wool poet Wilfred Owen?" I backtrack. I must have looked like a squaddy or something, had my shorts on or whatever. Anyway, Louisa, this person was,
Really?
who I know to have method in her madness. So, and then she told me about the play that was being put on by GFMA and written by Bob Fanshawe. And then I went round to their house and met Bob and yourselves. And Bob told me about the play, and that he had me possibly down for a certain character.
You were scouted, really.
Scout? I was press ganged. I was press ganged.
It's good stuff, you know.
Anyway, so I was given a script, and I think I was about to go on holiday. So I said, I'm going to go on holiday, have a think about it. And I remember working out how many lines there were this character was going to have to say. He also had to sing and play a musical instrument, a penny whistle or a harmonica. So, it was a bit of a leap of faith, really. But the character and the play was so great that he reminded me of Oz out of Auf Wiedersehen, Pet. I don't know if you remember him. Yes. A bit of a character. So I thought I don't want anyone else to play that, so I did it. I sort of.
It's fantastic.
I sort of learnt the words, and we had we had an incredible. Well, it was an incredible. The whole journey was incredible. Working with people, and then putting on the performance, and you know, which Wilfred Owen's nephew was attended. So incredible from going from nothing up to that. It was quite a learning curve, really, but felt incredibly supported within the GFMA.
Really. A fit the
framework.
GFMA,
Yes,
not the factory
definitely.
floor,
Yeah.
actually.
It was
Yeah.
welcomed in. You know,
absolutely.
You know, cups of coffee, sandwiches. You know, looked after. Yeah, and then we did the performance, which was incredible. But I think I might have been a bit naive at the time because I didn't really understand what really was going on behind the scenes.
Yes.
Because as soon as we'd finished the play, I wanted to go straight down the pub. But obviously the stage had to be taken down and all the rest of it. But I didn't know. I was blissfully ignorant to all
Lots
that.
of actors
I
don't
loved it.
understand that
I
anyway.
loved it. I just went straight down the pub and wondered where everyone was. But I now know that
we all join in.
I now know it ain't quite like that. That was my one free. That was my one free freak card, I suppose.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you haven't looked back, really, have you?
Well, no. So
Been
thanks
part
to
of-
GFMA and Bob, you know, God bless his soul. It lit a fuse. I did have an idea of doing some stand-up
Yes.
before this. I'd written a script and I was going to jump into it until this, and then I didn't have to anymore. So I think I prefer the stage than stand-up. But
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
But you've got so many sort of talents. You're multifaceted, aren't you? Multi-talented, and somehow theatre's a good vehicle.
Yes,
for that,
I think
isn't it?
so.
Because it's many
a bit-
strands.
Yes,
really.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
musical, there's whatever,
Yes,
poetry,
yes,
acting. Whereas
yeah.
the stand-up is a particular sort of thing. Once you go down it, people stay down it, don't they?
I think so. I imagine you could, you know, if you get a buzz from it,
Absolutely.
it would, you know, I can imagine it's quite addictive.
Yeah, but then all your other talents wouldn't have got fed.
No, not in that way. No.
No.
But,
Were you going to read us some?
Oh, right.
Through
Oh,
Youth, weren't you?
Thank you for that. Yes. So part of the play.
Yeah.
You know, the character also read one of the, you know, most famous of Wilfred Owen's poems, which was an honour to do. I had to read it in the form of this private who couldn't really read that fluently and didn't understand some of the words, but you know, that was part of the character. So
that's a real treat, I think, to have a nice
yes,
poem like that.
Yeah, and James Haverall gave me some interesting input how to sort of phrase it and present it. So here it is, Anthem for Doomed Youth. What passing bowels for these who die as cattle? Only the monstrous anger of the guns. Only the stuttering rifles, rapid rattle, can patter out their hasty horizons. No mockeries now for them, no prayers nor bells, nor any voice of mourning save the choirs. The shrill, demented choirs of wailing shells, and bugles calling them from sad shires. What candles may be held to speed them all, not in the hands of boys, but in their eyes, shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes. The pallor of girls' brows shall be their pall, their flowers the tenderness of patient minds, and each slow dusk a drawing down the blinds.
Very beautifully read, and it is an amazing poem, isn't it? So you were just saying there, I was just before you read the poem, that there was even some help with how to read the poem and to bring it
Yes,
on.
that last bit actually,
Yes.
the drawing down the blinds, just
how to do that and bring
just
that in.
actually just break that down
Yes,
and sort of verbally
yes.
illustrate
Yeah, I could hear
the
that.
idea
That
of
was
that,
lovely.
you know. And I tried to do there's alliteration there as
Yes.
well, and just anger,
Yes,
you know,
you
and
did
the
it perfectly.
stuttering to the.
It was lovely.
So I can imagine that's obviously
Yes,
what was, you know, there were the sounds that he was obviously used to
yes.
hearing.
And there's something here, I think, listening to you about, you know, GFMA providing that sort of education. So it wasn't
Yes.
just throwing you in; it was
Oh, well,
bringing
yeah,
in what was needed.
And we were down Woolwich Barracks as well. We, you know, we
the
had
research bit was there.
research bit. There was there. We had to, you know, do the parade ground and, you know, get, you know, thumb down the side, seam of the trousers,
That's fantastic.
long way up, short way down. Yeah, being shouted at.
It really makes a difference.
Yes,
to
yeah. Well, that just
overall quality somehow.
and that clip that was shown earlier, where Private Jacko, who I play, he's up on a charge of insubordination. I mean, I could have been shot at dawn.
Yes, yes.
But I was let off because it was,
Yes.
you know, I was probably going to be shot in the battle. So it was, you know, fit for the battle floor. I think, as a lot of privates probably were, you know, cannon fodder.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's been quite an education for you.
Oh,
really,
it's
being
extremely,
in
and you know,
GFMA.
and I didn't know a great deal about Wilfred Owen.
No.
I didn't, you know, education. I didn't know a great deal about Shakespeare. A lot of literary stuff we didn't do it at school.
No. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because
No,
you
no.
can come to these things as an
But-
adult, and,
yeah.
and I think probably GFMA is great for that.
Yes,
for
yes.
that sort of bringing
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the wider depth
Yes,
of knowledge
yes,
and
yeah, yeah.
what's needed.
Definitely. And doing your own research
Yes.
into and, you know, I think that's it brings it all together. That
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Absolutely.
No, and it just the freedom to do it. I wasn't really directed that, you know. Rigidly. It was quite just, you know, you know, just you know, if you're going to pit over the top or rein it in a bit, or guided, yeah, and that's how it should be. You shouldn't you know, deflate someone.
No, because that's how you develop your own, isn't it? It's how you're coming into. You have a sense of something yourself, and a good director brings that out.
Exactly.
As opposed to tells you what to do.
Yeah, without micromanaging, I think that can, because you get in the head too much.
Yes, I agree.
You get too, and it's not about get out the head.
No, absolutely. You do that research, and then you
you
find the bit for
exactly.
you.
And then you take over. You do it sort of automatically in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got more videos, I think.
Right.
I think we're on to a video.
Is this
Troubled.
You're on? No, video,
Yeah. What should I? Okay, what's it?
You want to say what it is, or should we talk about it first, and then we'll talk about it? Yeah.
Oh, hang on a sec. Sorry.
I just sit here and read.
You know, I think I need to go back to the beginning. Sorry.
Like a lost tale in days of yore. Please tell me, what's the score?
When trouble makes the troubadour.
Sighs of lies. So you mean when travelling so far, bleeding wide, you always end up on your own?
Yeah. But I get out of my motion. I get out.
My place in life no longer show. We're placed by those far better meaning. I just sit here and read.
Sad and shocking loss of one of our most popular regulars last time. and with a song in their heart and words and they'll rhyme.
I'll into that then.
Yes. Oh, excuse me, Jill.
Yeah, trouble meets the troubadour. So after finishing off, after we finished Bob's playing,
Yes.
it was sort of, oh, well, what do I do now? Or what can I do now? And then I saw that there were courses being run at the London Theatre, which is this, sounds grand, but it was a dingy basement, a theatre room up in New Cross. But they did a series of evenings. It was just a whistle stop, course about acting, really, stage acting, which was very informative. I dragged Sam along with me, Sam Burridge, who was playing guitar there.
Yes.
And I remember the main advice that come out of it at the end was like, to get over any copyrights or whatever, you're better off writing your own material and putting it on. So I did that. I saw an article in, I can't remember the paper, but it was about I think it's called Boys Don't Cry. That's why we used the Cure song there. And it was just about, men not opening up and talking, and and it was related to a pamphlet produced by the Samaritans about sort of increasing suicide for men of a certain, and for older men as well. Yeah. So I had this idea of having two characters. I'm thinking about it now. These two characters were a bit yin and yang. They were yin and yang.
Yes.
So me and Sam, I was the older, sort of cynical bloke, and Sam was the sort of young, naive whippersnapper sort of thing.
Yes, yeah.
But then we meet and sort of learn from each other, and then we had different characters with Jim and Alice, and we performed it at the New Cross, the London Theatre.
Yes.
For a theatre festival they had, and it's tremendous. I mean, you were so close to the audience, you could smell what they'd eaten for dinner that night. And then it was a real buzz, so we wanted to perform it again, and then we had the opportunity to do it at Mycenae House.
Oh, brilliant.
And I ended up writing an extra part for Alice and a song, so I'd written the songs and verse in it as well.
Yes, yeah.
And then we performed it at Mycenae House, and musicians as well. My brother was in it, Claude, Louisa, I think Alice, and maybe Jill. This is when you start learning of what goes on behind the scenes and what goes on in front of the stage. So so we performed it, and it was great. Yeah, it was a great night. And yeah, it was a learning experience as well. So
absolutely.
I think it can be quite difficult if you've written and performing and sort of maybe helping with the directing, and can be quite a lot actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, another steep learning curve, but yeah, tremendous.
But all of it kind of progressing and building on your skills, really, and using the skills you've got, but bringing them in and
yeah. I mean, it's great seeing others perform. I mean, Alice did the song, and I brilliant. I love watching it again when I hear it, and Jim's performance as well. It's great when people get what you're on about, and then they develop it. That's what it's no longer yours in a way.
No,
it's the cat's, it's out of the bottle, and so they go off and develop the character, and
with the essence of it being the thing that that triggers you to want to write it.
Yes.
Like everyone has something they want to say when they want to play. Any writer, finding that with someone else's play.
Yes.
What is it that someone is trying to say is the essence that drives it somehow.
Yeah.
You explained that at the beginning, it was that stuff you read and the research.
Yes, yeah,
There's the essence of it.
Yeah.
The rest of it comes around
exactly. Yeah.
to explore that issue.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it just, and once you start writing it, you just play it out in your head and it sort of comes together. It's,
Yes.
once you got the nub of the idea and the sort of motivation, I find the writing's quite easy then. And you can just play it out in your head, think, oh, do I need another character here? Or was that maybe they should be doing this or that? And it just sort of, it's like watching it on TV in your head.
Yes.
And then.
So you start with a core and then you add the bits in as it goes.
Yeah. Well, that was just going to be a two-person one, but that's quite difficult actually.
Then
So
it needed
the more characters you have in it. Yeah. Well, I remember because my character was going to be sitting down through the whole near enough hour. And it's just, I thought, the energy's too low for me. I said, I need to get up and do something. So I said, maybe I'd go off to the toilet or something. So then Louise had this great idea. They're gonna, I forget who it was. They poured water into a bucket whilst they was mic'd up, so it sounded like I was emptying my bladder like an elephant. And then as Jim comes on, and it's like, what's going on here? So and it was very much breaking the fourth wall and sort of, I think audiences, I think, that wakes them up anyway.
You can hold an audience as well.
Can't fall asleep when that's sort of going on.
That sounds fantastic. Oh, we've got another video, haven't we? I love it, all these videos.
Yeah, well, it saves the voice.
It sort of lets us all see, we talk about it, when we see it, it means a lot more, doesn't it? Talk about it again.
Okay, I'll organise an emergency meeting with all our regulars as soon as possible.
But that will only leave us 1 month to say SOC stock it to them and save our chickie.
1 month?
Walked around, not when the chips are down.
If you do not open this door and stand out of our way, then we will be forced to force the door down and have you all evicted. So hey ho, let's go. Hit it, Hank.
Give me a beat. The bigger beat you get, the blue. No, it's not down the back passage.
Oh, not for much longer.
We're on.
Back it in! Well, I bid you goodbye then, Mr. Fish and Chips. It seems you have something here worth much more than money. Yes, we have a real community that really cares.
There's only one thing you really need to say.
That's when it's down. So I forget where I forget where that come from. I think I wanted to create something a bit of the ambience of, remember the TV, the American sitcom Cheers.
Yes.
So sort of somewhere you go where one knows your name, sort of thing. But it's and then have some sort of social message with it. So that the idea of that the property developer wanted to buy the fish and chip shop. So and making it a community effort to sort of stand up to him. So that I asked Richard, Richard Evans, who was he's brilliant as Wilfred Owen in Bob's film play. So I asked him to direct it. I was supposed to be co-director, but I think you really need to let someone do their thing. And we got a group of the actors together, and I wanted to get it right, So we probably did rehearse for too long, but everyone was keen. So I actually want to thank yeah, I think they did, you know. But so I want to thank everyone who actually took part in that, because I think, again, sometimes you get too in your head when you're the writing and you're doing this and you're doing that. So I thank everyone again who took part in that and anything else I've written. You know, put their effort and energy and creativity into it. It makes it a lot easier. And so we had more characters in that, and we had I've written a song which Ellie she sang, and Jasmine John obviously got it. Who was a real star. And he was always the first in this building. He'd be here. He'd be waiting for me to come and open up. Every time he'd be the first there with his bags full. And it must have been about 10 weeks we rehearsed for. And he never learned one line. In the whole of it, he never learned one line. But he could do his poems like, you know, like you know, West End performer. So then I think, I don't know, Jill or Louisa's idea to put the script inside a magazine, because he could just sit there.
Very clever.
And so I went down, I went looking for a magazine, and then I saw it, Planet Rock. Because he's like supposed to be like an ex sort of heavy metal.
So it was perfect.
Yeah, so we industrially stapled it into the centre of Planet Rock, and he just sat there all throughout, and but he fed us lines as well, so it worked. And
because he had the script.
He had the script, so you know, if there was actually a pause, he could come in and.
It's a very good idea.
And I don't think anyone really noticed or cared, so it didn't really matter.
No.
But when he come up to do his part, I mean, he's a legend, and it really, it really made it. Yeah. So that was it was great fun actually.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
When you watch a playback, something like that, do all those stories just sort of come back to you because you're
and you can remember different things.
Yeah. The joy of it.
Yeah. Well, another thing that night, it was the 18th of May, so it was 2017, so it wasn't that long ago, and it was in May. But that night, I'm a Coventry City fan.
Yeah.
They were actually playing the second leg of the playoffs to get into the playoff final. And so I don't know if you saw there's a scarf, Coventry City scarf, as the backdrop.
Yes.
So I was actually, before I go on stage, I'm on trying to find out what the score is. And I think we were 2-1 up, so I come on, and then I threw it at Sam. He's the next person on. And I just threw it at him. I said, "Oh, Coventry, you're 2-1 up or something." And he was like, "Well, yeah." But it didn't take him long just to say something. But that was great. So that I remember that as well. It was
Fantastic.
And we had chips we had the aroma of chips in the building. We did a deal.
That's the best bit.
Yeah. We did a deal with the local chippy, and we took a promo picture outside of the chip shop with Jazzman in his heavy bags, and it was something like, "Hey, Mister, do you want another portion? Do you want a large portion?" That was it, a bit like a saucy seaside thing. "Hey, Mister, do you want a large portion?" And Jazzman says, "No, I've already got 2 heavy bags or something." No, my bags are full up already. Or something. I forget the tagline, but it was like, again, I think if things are meant to be, they happen.
Yes.
It was fabulous. It would have been great. I remember putting the stage. This is learning about. There's a bit more than just acting. I remember I had to help put the stage up at 12 o'clock that day. And I was actually knackered by the time I got on stage. And people asking you questions. So that's why you can see you really need a dedicated director or someone and the structure of it. But that's all learning. learning process.
Absolutely.
But you know, that adds to it as well. I mean, someone just on the night said, "Oh, do you mind if we say this? It sounds funnier." You know, if it sounds, go with it. You know, it's a flexible thing. You know, with something else a couple of things that changed. Because I said to Richard, "You can't do that," but it sounded like I was swearing. So we actually played on that a bit. Can't. You calling me a can't? Anyway,
That you didn't realise until you...
Well, we did, and then we really went for it on the night. But, so, you know, that's the
moving
beauty
swiftly
of it.
on.
So,
tell us about the pantomime.
Well, the panto was actually pre that.
Oh, right.
I mean, but that was another incredible experience, and that was another thing that just sort of came together. You know, when the will's there and there's good energy and it all comes together. Because we lost our leading lady, or we didn't have one, and then this lady Louisa got hold of someone last minute, and she didn't learn the script fully. We didn't have to staple it into a magazine for her, but she looked the part, and it didn't really matter what she fully said.
No,
you know,
she found the
she
right
she
thing.
knew the gist of it, and
Yes.
she could, you know, we could support her because we knew our part, and she was amazing.
Fantastic.
Leading boy, yeah. I can't. We've never seen her again. I don't think. It's
She was
just like
perfect at that
come
moment.
from nowhere, like an angel, just arrived on cue just when we needed her, and the costumes. I went to there used to be a fancy dress place up the road, and I went there asking for what they had, and they didn't really have a great deal, a few accessories and whatever. And then they said, well, my local church is just about to throw out a load of stuff.
Oh.
Would you be interested in taking a look? So we went up, and there was rails of it,
Everything
and we
you
just
needed.
everything and more. I mean, if we could have stored it, we'd probably taken a lot. And so we had all the wigs and all the dresses, and and it, you know, and I mean, it was absolute chaos in a way. I remember, and we did it at Chelton Church. What was it? Assembly rooms.
Oh, I know.
Which is perfect stage.
Yes.
Yeah, and the curtains. But backstage was absolute chaos. we had half the audience trying to come in, and at one point it was and people chit chat, and
that was fun.
but it all come together and worked, and everyone, you know, again took on board their part, and and we did it over a long weekend. I mean, once you're up to speed, you could. I mean,
you can just go.
Ideally, you could, you know, that's how they make the money.
Yes.
You could have gone for weeks, really, but it's we didn't. But it was great fun, absolutely. You know, and it was well attended, really, wasn't it? We got local sponsors, and it was a real community thing.
Yeah, fantastic, isn't it?
And it'd be good to do again. I made it about. Actually, the story was an original story,
right?
But based on, you know, the usual goings on in a pantomime. But I had it. The leading boy was actually a refugee who had come. Well, we didn't know fully her backstory, but she's ended up with the wicked stepmother and the ugly sisters, and been made to sort of scrub floors. I mean, it was based on sort of maybe modern slavery.
Yeah, reality.
So that was the basis of it. But also there's redemption at the end of it, and it had
you
quite
have
a lot.
themes here, don't you, all the way through, that about community and things that you know, issues that matter.
I think so. Yeah.
What I pick up from
yeah.
what you've
But
done.
I don't like preaching. I think that's just subtle, and you know, maybe make people think a bit. And you know, if you can also, you know, see come together and have some communal, you know, sharing of laughter. I mean, there's nothing better.
No.
It's and we had some sing songs, and New Sard wrote some songs. So then we had Chris Harrison who put it all together, arranged this. I mean, I'd written the songs and I had them in my head, but I'm not a musician, so he had to suffer my singing to be able to translate it and arrange it on the keyboards. And then we had other musicians as well, so there was drummers, Lady Louisa on the drums, and I forget who, we had a musical section as well, songs, and then we went out. Jugglers. We had Chinese lantern.
Fantastic.
And we had a rooster, and it was the year of the rooster, and we had a violin playing shark.
As you do.
Yeah, playing Jaws.
Of course.
As I was about to walk the plank, pleading for my release.
Brilliant.
So there was a lot there actually.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. We've got some footage. We'll have to try and. We were going to do it. We were going to do it again, but then lockdown happened, didn't it?
Oh, right.
So it got shelved. But it could be adapted again for another time.
Are we going to hear some more poetry?
Oh,
yeah. We've only had one of yours. Not at all, but I think we'd like to hear the poetry. Because what I'd like to do in a while, after you've done the poems, you know, whatever you want to do, we'll move to the audience. I hope you've been enjoying this, actually. I certainly have here.
Are they still awake?
They are awake. I can see them. If they've got questions, wave to the audience. Wave to the lovely. If they've got questions, you know, think them up now, because when we've had these poems, we're going to open the floor up to you to ask some questions, because there's been a lot here, hasn't there? Lots of things to find out more about.
I can give you two short ones.
Yeah, that might be nice, and then we can move into
questions. They're slightly different.
How unusual for you.
So this first one was observations. It's called A Nature of London. So observations of nature in London, as the title says. But maybe more on a maybe that's a slightly darker side. It ended up sounding a bit Dylan Thomas-ish, if I'm not blowing smoke on my own bottom. But,
in the style of.
In the style of, yeah.
Fine.
A Nature of London. Violent splashes of survival, thriving through cracks in walls and drab pavement slabs. The city's lungs losing their bark as they choke down its gargling soup. Pigeons dining out on spew left behind by someone who had one too many over their few, whilst the parakeet's sudden startling screech almost knocks small ones off of their feet. The capital fox on the prowl after the wanton sun goes down, with rats on their runs and bats that swoon under a full and gloriously mesmerising metropolitan moon. Then humans who pass by without a care or blink of eye, detached from the very thing that provides with everything, on their driven blinkered course, until finally forced to stop and flag, their timely, fateful hearse. And on the sort of flip side of that, this was inspired by John Cooper Clarke, who I went to see the other week at the Palladium. So it's called Hash Brown Town. I took a trip down Hash Brown Town to take a look around and found everything there was textured triangle with angles rounded and not at all square. Unlike Toblerone Town, where everything is monochrome mocha with sides geometrically true. 'Twas more akin to deep down old Dorito City way, having uneven slopes covered with a crispy golden hue. Milling around downtown Hash Brown Town, everyone gave off a tanning parlour reflective glow, and so wore wraparound shades as well as hard hats, should any flaky masonry fall on those mingling below. I quite like my visit to Hash Brown Town. I may someday soon go back again to take that ride. For apart from the well-weathered worn exterior, they're all really quite soft-centred there inside.
Oh. Oh, thank you so much to Andrew. I'm sure there are lots of questions out there. I have loads myself. Who would like to ask a question? You have to unmute to ask a question though, because we won't hear you. Can't see anyone. Does anyone? Yes, Yemma. Yes, off you go, Yemma.
Hello, Andy.
Hello, Yemma. How you doing?
Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I know.
Looking well?
Likewise.
Ah.
So what's next for you, Andy?
Good question. Well, I've got a couple of things up my sleeve. I've written a short play, which was also written out during lockdown. It's a bit of a farce about two people end up being locked in a hotel room for the whole length of their holiday. And running out of things to do. Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. and there's a bit of a twist at the end.
Okay.
And also, I've written a screenplay. Started written a screenplay about the treatment, about a song I wrote actually, yes, called Bats of Blood. I thought it sounded like a B movie, sort of bit sort of rock psychobilly. So maybe you could, yeah, we'll work it out with Roz. You'll have to get your blue suede shoes on. And, so maybe that. Yeah, finish that off. And I actually also over lockdown, I wrote a manuscript for a short novel based on partly real, partly embellished. So that's on the shelf.
So you wasted your time in lockdown.
Yeah. So I need to it probably needs a bit more embellishing. And Jim has read it, so I got some positive feedback from him. But yeah, I think it just needs another push.
What a great use of your time though.
So
difficult time.
You've been busy.
So yeah, we'll see. And I've got to read something out at my nephew's wedding, so I've written something for that.
Great,
so on the flip side, I wrote something for a friend who died last year. But actually it was quite it was just about recalling all the sort of stuff we used to get up to, so it was quite obviously tragic circumstances, but actually brought back some good memories as well. So yeah, so there's always something, you know what it's like.
Yeah,
there's plenty to be writing about,
isn't there?
I know.
There's plenty to be writing about.
But you're fantastic, just to let you know that.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you, Yemma. That was lovely. That was a great question and moved us on to look at the future and things, which is brilliant. Are there any other questions? Can't see anybody. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you really wanted to say? Yourself, you know? I'd love to give you time for that.
thank yous, I've already given my thank yous, but everyone who has taken part in anything I've written or, you know, on stage, behind, on camera, huge thank yous, because sometimes, as I say, you can get into your own head and actually not get over your thank yous, or they may not sound meaningful, but you know, appreciate it. Have a question to the floor.
Yeah. So, of all your amazing talents, this is a difficult one to ask, but is there one that you feel the most comfortable in?
Doug Berry.
Performance Berry.
I think, yeah, just not being Andrew.
Mm.
You know, yeah. I think being a character, Doug, on stage, or any character, is...
So acting?
Acting,
yeah. Yeah.
Performing.
Performing, yeah. Yeah, I think so, yeah. You can...
Just to mention, that you can see some of Andrew's plays.
Yes, I was going to say that, funny enough. Actually, if you go on GFMA's website and GFMA TV, YouTube, sorry, you can go on the, it directs you to it, doesn't it, on the thing. So GFMA TV, YouTube, there are lots of things on there, but Andrew's plays are definitely on there, so you can have a look. There's lots of nice performance things on there anyway, actually, to have a look at.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to sort of end up the evening, and I want to say really, first of all, thank you to Louisa and Jill and the whole GFMA team for putting these wonderful evenings on, and everything else that you do actually, not just this, but whole, you know, we've been talking about the community and plays about the community, and you're the people that do actually all aspects of work for the community, and tirelessly and fantastically. Also want to talk about, you know, the importance of how we believe that it was important to stay on Zoom, because if we hadn't stayed on Zoom and we'd just gone back, because we used to have these evenings in a pub, didn't we, in Woolwich, and they were great, but so many more people can we reach now. You know, we've had Suzanne come from California, and we couldn't have had all that, and we can still have something live as well. Yeah, and we've had from France as well. I mean, we couldn't be doing that, and we do that with the singing group on Tuesday nights. We have people coming from America and Germany, Athens, and they're on Zoom and we're all live, and it's just a wonderful joining of people, and GFMA have been utterly fantastic at keeping this going and reaching out, and all the other fantastic workshops that go on, free of charge for people. A big thank you to the audience, because without the audience joining us, there wouldn't be anything for us to present or talk about. And a big thank you to everybody who's performed. So we had Mary, we had Chris Shanley, who came in from the cold and spoke to us. We've had Yema, who was absolutely fantastic. We had our newcomer, Frantic Free Versa, do come again. Andrew Lloyd Boyd, we missed him, Lloyd, which was really sad, because he was supposed to join us tonight but was unwell. So I will mention him at this stage, because it's not right just to move somebody out. So he's on my list, so I'm going to say him, wish him well if he's watching this. And Suzanne West for joining us, as ever, absolutely wonderful. And our fantastic guest, Andrew or Doug Berry, I think. You've got I have really enjoyed talking with you. It's been a really lovely evening.
Likewise, Roz.
Oh.
We must do it again sometime.
Yes, we will.
Hey, we'll have a sing-song sometime, eh?
We are going to finish with a video. We've got to tell us a bit about the video.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. This was. I did a screen writing course, an acting course. So it's a scene from the character I wrote about, called Gus Zatoichi. So Zatoichi was the legendary blind Japanese swordsman.
Oh, yes.
So my thing was Gus Zatoichi was the legendary blind poet with the pen being mightier than the sword. So, and the film called Just Drive was based on Taxi Driver.
Oh,
Suzuki, Taxi Driver. And so I tried to create maybe a bit of that 70s New York vibe by riding around in the back. It was all set in the stories around a taxi driver driving. So I tried to create a bit of that vibe, that 70s sort of New York vibe, and on the theme of Taxi Driver, you know, when so it's part influenced by that. You know, someday a real rain will come and wash all the scum off the streets, sort of thing. So it's partly got an American accent, it's partly English, but anyway. Over to the video lady.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Same Streets by Gus Zatoichi. Let me show you something. Come, take me by the hand. We'll grab a cab and go downtown to take a drive around, to see that these same streets are still not so grand, and open your eyes to see what really lies beneath. The cities, deceivingly beautiful, gleamingly thin veneer. Exclusive, high-rise, modern glass-fronted buildings, disparagingly looking down on those still many below rough sleeping. Deviously designed, though, to ensure they don't get too comfortable, as they're looking sightly in the morning for those coming in through them. A gutless jogger, nastily knowing when elbowing over a fellow commuter. Through a bridge he can continue to trundle arrogantly over. The scourge of modern byway robbery by maliciously malevolent moped thieves. After anything they can take, swipe right out of your sleeves. Pushing, chancing, the quickest way of advancing. Life forever pursuing a limited higher end chasing. So you still think you're lonely? Well, they say the loneliest place is in the middle of a crowd. And man, this city can be fast, cold and loud. Especially if you're not part of its inner, invited, selective in crowd. The haves and the have-nots cause for an equal distribution of wealth. Now, as the cab pulls over and you go on your way, I do hope you have seen something and with you it will stay, and that your mind's judgment may also be swayed, so that you truly understand that nothing's really changed. And it's just life, for many as ever before, has found, simply surviving down here on the ground. Yet hope somehow miraculously remains. And it's still not too late for that real rain to someday come and wash the stench of filth from these same streets to make them clean once again.
Film that yourself.
No, that's part of a film, a feature film.
Oh, that's
I
fantastic.
did 11-minute section,
Yes.
and they're all different. Dilara's in that. That's how I met Dilara, and it's a featured film. So it's all set around.
Yes.
We actually tried to film it on a Friday night, but it was chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
Got a film, camera in there, and you're trying to stop and. So that's actually a Monday night. It's not quite as busy as probably I'd hope. I must say that it was also partly based on the Streets of London
Yes.
by Ralph McTell. So it's an updated version of that in a way as well.
I'm producing that and I'm singing.
Oh, you do? Okay. Maybe do
We could do that.
Okay. We could do an updated version,
Yeah.
same streets.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It's been wonderful having you, and thank
Thank you
you
all.
all the other performers, and thank you everyone at home. It's been lovely.